You're welcome back. When Vera Twomey's daughter, Ava, was diagnosed with Dravet syndrome, a rare form of epilepsy, the family hoped to find treatment and support in the medical system. However, the only medication to have any effect on Ava's condition is a form of medicinal cannabis that was unavailable in Ireland.
This began Vera's headline-making two-year battle to obtain a licence for medicinal cannabis. Vera Twomey has documented the family's journey in a new book, For Ava, and she joins us now to tell her story. Before we speak to Vera, here's a reminder of that moment we saw her confront Health Minister Simon Harris in January 2017 in a conversation that grabbed the attention of the Irish public. Take a look.
I am a doctor, and every single time we've come back with what you wanted, you want more. I'm doing everything I can. I'm doing everything I can. You're putting your hand on my hand now, but you didn't put your hand out to me since before last Christmas. And I had respect for you, and I've been a member, and I've voted for Fine Gael for the last 20 years of my life, and you've betrayed us.
We provided you with everything you wanted, and every time we have, it's another roadblock after another roadblock.
There is a process, and that process was successfully used by a family who have had medicinal cannabis now made available. If an application is submitted by you, by a doctor, please, by a doctor for your daughter, I'm looking you in the eye and telling you the same thing I've told you when I've met you 3 previous times. That application will be assessed without delay.
Wow. Vera Twomey, you're very welcome.
Hi.
Good morning.
Vera, you've seen that footage before, but it moves you every time, I'm guessing. Do you find that hard to watch?
Well, I think of that day, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a difficult day.
Of course.
You know, we certainly didn't want to arrive into Mallow and have to seek attention that kind of way. And it's fairly upsetting to look at it because it just takes you back to the level of desperation that you were at, because unless you were in a very bad way for your child, you wouldn't be in a public place.
That's the level you were at. You were, of course, were in the middle of it at that time.
Yeah.
Take us back to how this all began for you and for Ava and for indeed your entire family. Tell us first of all about the condition that you saw. It's a rare form of epilepsy.
It's a rare form of epilepsy. It's called Dravet's or Dravet syndrome, and it's a complicated. It's a complicated form of epilepsy. It used to be known as severe myoclonic epilepsy in infancy, and then Charlotte Dravet isolated it in the late 70s, and so the condition is named after her. It's a very, very brutal form of epilepsy. The seizures are long, they recur and recur. Control is very difficult. Ava's prognosis by the consultant was given to us that the consultant said she had a mortality rate of maybe about 3 years, that you know, she wouldn't survive, that it was all about what she wouldn't achieve. She wouldn't walk, she wouldn't talk, all of these things. And from the very word go, she was given no hope, really, by the doctors, but there was certain medications, certain pharmaceutical medications that could be tried for her, and we tried all of them, one by one, and you know, some failed completely, others caused improvement for a period of time, but on each occasion the side effects were very serious, you know. And
but she's just a baby, like she was only 6.
Started when she was 4 months old.
4 months. So throughout all of her childhood, then you've been trying out these various medications.
We have, yeah.
Where did you hear then about the medicinal cannabis?
You know, it happened over time because there was no support system for parents with Dravet syndrome in Ireland. So you were looking to the UK, and there's a very good group called Dravet Syndrome UK, which had, excuse me, a website, and it had Facebook page and so forth. And because the group was small, there was some American parents joined the UK group as well, and it was kind of fluid that way. So their stories would take you to other pages then in America and Canada and so forth. And over time, I didn't know anything about cannabis, you know, when we were starting going through Ava's journey with the pharmaceutical medications. But as the medications were failing, excuse me, I started to see other parents with kids having success with cannabis, and I I didn't know how that was possible, so I followed up and
Okay.
contacted these parents and learned about it. And
So you were
there
doing
shows
your
a lot
own
to learn.
research and gathering your own intelligence, as any
Yeah.
parent
Yes.
with a child in that situation would,
Yeah,
I suppose.
absolutely.
You'll do anything to improve the quality of
Well-
your child's life.
Well, you have to learn. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what diagnosis you're given. You have to learn about
Yeah.
it, and don't you? And like, that's the one blessing I think that we had. That a lot of parents they may not have a diagnosis at all. So I was grateful for actually having something that categorised the future or the present of my child, and I was able to go from there with it.
Did you have
yeah.
that thing originally when you were reading, and particularly from other groups and people in other countries talking about cannabis? Did you have the immediate reaction that I suppose most of us would have, which is cannabis and the negative connotations associated with it? And I suppose that's an opportunity to clear it up for people as well, that it's actually about a treatment. It's a real.
Oh,
useful
this is a
treatment.
medicine.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is absolutely a medicine. I mean, when I began, I didn't know that there was such a thing as cannabis oil. All I was aware of was that people smoked cannabis.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that, even several years ago over in Holland, medical cannabis is categorised as a medicine, as it should be. I didn't know that people like Professor Michael Barnes, of Newcastle University, had done large reports on medical cannabis, which are very, very useful documents for people to look at, and that there were doctors from all other parts of the world as well that have a lot of study done on this. Yeah.
But trying to get your hands on this magic ingredient, I suppose, that was about to become a game changer for your family, that's where your journey really started, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, the clip that you showed there, I think it shows very kind of there in front of us. I believed that the Fine Gael government would help us.
Yeah.
I really did. I was so naive, so terribly naive. I thought that Fine Gael were the good guys because we had always voted for Fine Gael. I will never vote for Fine Gael again after experiencing the rigours of how badly we were treated.
Yeah.
But I thought that they had said in the hospital to take Ava home and make her comfortable. Excuse me. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, well, there's nothing more that we can do. Well, I thought, like, this is completely unacceptable. And I had to escalate my efforts then to get access to the cannabis because they were done. They had nothing more to offer. But I thought if I presented Ava's case to Simon, that I would be able to show him, look, it's a medicine in this country, it's a medicine in that country. Here's the doctor's report. I can put you in touch with this doctor. Do you want to speak to him? I've spoken to him, etc., whatever. That wasn't how it went. And it was such a betrayal. It was,
and then your campaigning really, it began in earnest, and we've all seen, like the walk you did from Cork to Leinster House, your campaigning outside of Leinster House. Eventually, Ava had to leave the country and go and live in Holland.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, we were there for 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in the end, then it culminated all of this campaigning. You can see you outside.
See
Leinster
some
House
of the
there.
footage there. Yeah.
You were really there was no backing down.
No, that's when we what was that day? We blocked the gates that day at the Dáil. Yeah. The guards were very
Make It
nice that
Medicine.
they lifted us away. Make it medicine, make it happen.
Yeah. So where are you at now, Vera?
Where we are at now is that Ava's doing fantastic.
So you got a license?
Yes.
Is that it?
we did.
So how does the license work? Sorry, just to explain it for
Yeah.
because it's not like the laws change now. We can all go and get medicinal cannabis and that's it.
That's not true
No.
at all.
How does it work?
So, in our case, we have a license to bring the prescription in from Holland.
Okay.
But we have to travel over to Holland every 12 weeks to get it still.
So you fly over there to buy it and bring it back?
Yeah. So we're flying over every 12 weeks to bring Ava's medication back.
There
the
she
government
is. It's clearly working her. She's flying it now.
Yeah.
And these are little drops
She's
that
great.
she gets under her tongue, Vera.
Yeah, I was just explaining to Ray there, it's like a 1 ml, syringe.
Okay.
A tiny, tiny syringe. And then the dosage is tailor-made for each patient. It's weight dependent. So I think that's very good.
Yeah, okay.
So if it was your child or mine,
would be
their
different.
dosage could be slightly different depending on their weight. So I think that's great.
The book is your entire story. I suppose the question we have to ask now is: you were just after this for yourself and for Ava to get this, to change your circumstances, to change your life.
Right, yeah.
But now you are this. You're a voice. You're a campaigner. What are you going to do with it, or what's next for you?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure how to answer that.
So families who still are in the position of needing this in the way you were,
Yeah.
They don't have it, do they?
So there's the licensing system. We travel out of the country. We have been issued a license to allow us to legally bring back the THC into the country.
Just for Ava?
Just for, in our case, for Ava. There have been 24 other individual licenses granted for other patients. However, the majority of those people that have been granted the licenses still have to travel out of the country.
Okay.
They're all on Bedrocan. There may be one or two on Tilray as well, I believe. But mostly it's Bedrocan, and this travelling is involved. They haven't sorted that out for us. So then the really upsetting thing, I believe, is that Simon announced the Compassionate Access Programme last month, which indicated in the media that cannabis was available under prescription for patients. However, that isn't the case at all, because the secondary legislation hasn't been signed for the Compassionate Access Programme, which means that until that legislation is signed, that the programme can't be up and running. Okay. So it's unlikely that that programme will be up and running before.
So the campaign still continues, Vera.
Well, the people need access.
Of course they do.
You know, so
and can I just say, you are the mother of 4 children. You are absolutely incredible.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Incredible. And it's all here in the book.
It's all in the book.
For Ava. Well done, Vera.
Thank you. Thanks very much.